So starting the test drive here in the Grand Highlander, the 2.4 is pretty quick. It's turbocharged, so it's what I expect. And the 8-speed shifts pretty seamlessly. Toyota's 8-speed automatic really is one of the best transmissions, I think, just in terms of having a one-stop transmission to go in all these cars. So whether you have the V6 Camry, 4-cylinder Camry, this Turbo 4, and this Grand Highlander, the 8-speed is just a very impressive transmission, whether you're trying to be sporty, efficient, or whatever. So far, ride quality is fantastic. Wind noise is not bad at all, and minimal road noise as well. But I mean, it's just it feels solid driving this down the road. I love the steering feel. It's not overly tight, but it's also just loose enough to be easy to drive, but still somewhat agile, if that makes sense. Now, another cool thing is this is an eco mode, but you have so many drive modes to go through. It really does, let's say you like the throttle response in normal, but you want to be more economically friendly, you can still kind of do your own eco mode thing without the vehicle actually kind of making you drive a certain way, or, you know, taking your throttle response and dimming it down to be more economically friendly. So for instance, I like to keep my car in sport mode about 98% of the time for when I need it, and then I just kind of get used to using a light pedal in that mode, because I know if I give it anything, it's going to be ready to go. But that's just how I like to drive the car. And you get the same thing here. The sport mode, we're going to test it out, but Toyota sport modes tend to be pretty fierce in a fun way. And normally in the normal mode, you can drive about 98% of the time. I feel like when you put your foot down, you still get more than enough throttle response. And then if you want to be eco-friendly, you don't necessarily have to put in the eco mode, which you pretty much only want to use on longer road trips, just to keep you from burning up too much fuel when you're trying to get this 27 miles per gallon. Now with this one having all-wheel drive, you're not going to get the best fuel economy as opposed to the front-wheel drive model, but if your foot's light enough, you can get there. But yeah, the ride is just fantastic. The sound acoustics in here are fantastic. It's just very quiet. Now with the newer cruise control here, you have to go through like 3 or 4 steps. I'm still not sure how you necessarily do it, but I think you turn the cruise on first, and then this kind of makes sure you're in the adaptive mode, and then this turns on the lane centering. So again, it's like a 3-step process, but I think they've done that because it used to be where you have the stalk here for the adaptive cruise and you'd have to hold it for adaptive, but now that you can just either go between regular cruise and adaptive cruise, they just want you to know what you're doing, I guess. Which is smart, but for people like me who take driving pretty seriously, it's just kind of annoying. Like, I know when I'm in adaptive and when I'm not. But we're gonna put it into sport mode as we get on the interstate here. And we're not gonna floor, but we're gonna give it enough. All right, here we go. And I mean a pretty sensational pull with minimal effort. Very impressed by that. But now we have the cruise on here. We're gonna make sure that everything is on. Lane keeping system is on. So we're in a full-on lane centering adaptive cruise. The car wants you to keep your hands on the steering wheel, but you can take it off every so often. It's just not recommended. But I mean, I don't know if it's less windy out than normal, but this is very, very impressive, the sound acoustics in here. Not really hearing much wind noise. And I mean, the road noise is minimal as well. And overall, even though I'm behind this 18-wheeler, I can feel the wind, I guess the drag, if you will. It still feels very controlled in the actual cabin here. I'll give it a little pull here. So even in eco mode, when I put my foot halfway down, I didn't expect it to do that much. I wasn't really trying to do that much, but it still did a very good job. And it's hard to really have that passing power with the eco mode here. Because these trucks are just waking up. But I mean, for the money, I think you get a very solid SUV in this XLE, having the heated seats, of course, the full-on lane tracing, adaptive cruise. And I just feel like I'm in a vehicle that's worth the price tag. And specifically the infotainment system, just the overall center stack here looks very, very modern. So nothing bad to say about this vehicle at all. Ride's impressive, driving feels impressive, and the powertrain's impressive as well in terms of just acceleration and your overall fuel economy. But I want to give one more big thank you to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this Highlander today. If you're looking for a vehicle like this in your area and you want to make the dealers fight for the best price, just make sure you check out the link below in the description, and you can make sure that you're getting the best price available to you. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander in the XLE trim level.